Hi, everybody. My name is John Colson, and I'm here on behalf of PressBox Sports and CountySportsZone.com, along with the United States Army. A select few coaches and high school athletes have joined us this evening for some personal insight on team building, personal success, and what it means to take your game and your life to the next level, whether that's in sports, school, or career. Our guests this evening are Bradley and Nikki Bozeman. Bradley's the starting left guard for our Baltimore Ravens and a nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, one of the most prestigious awards in the NFL. Bradley played his college ball at Alabama, where he met his wife, Nikki, who was the captain and starting center for the University of Alabama women's basketball team. Joining us from the U.S. Army are Staff Sergeant Juan Alberto Solis and Staff Sergeant Kenneth J. Trainer. They will start things off in a couple of moments with a couple of questions in a minute. If any of you coaches or students want to ask questions directly, just send the word question to me, John Colson, or to the everyone chat box, to everyone in the chat box. And when it's your turn, I'll turn on your mic and you can ask your question. It'll be your time to speak and ask the Bozemans a question or two. Sergeant Solis and Trainer, let me open up your microphones here, and I'm going to open up Bradley and Nikki's, and we can get going.
Hey everyone.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
I have to get their mics open here. Okay, Sergeant Solis, and I think you can go ahead, and Sergeant Trainer, you should both have your mics open.
All right, good evening to everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank Nikki and Bradley for taking the time, to be able to participate and host this meeting with everybody. So thank you so much for that. I do want to say congratulations to Bradley Bozeman on being nominated for the Walter Payton Award, the Man of the Year Award. So congratulations on that, and very excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it's an honor to be nominated, and I couldn't do it without this one right here. So she's the driving force behind it all. So I'm just so thankful.
Sergeant Solis and Trainer, do you have a couple questions for the Bozemans?
Yeah, Sergeant Solis, you can lead off with the first question.
All righty. So Bradley, how's the so right now with the season, with the COVID and all that stuff, I know training's been a little bit different for you. Well, not just you, but for everybody in the organization. So I just wanted to ask, how's the training been, and what adjustments did you have to do during your off season to get ready for the season this year?
So with the previous off season with COVID, we had to make a lot of adjustments. It wasn't the typical off season. Didn't have any time with my guys. Didn't have any opportunities to work with my quarterback, to work with my fellow offensive linemen. I was actually one of the lucky ones that was able to get into our facility and get to use all of our equipment. So I was very fortunate in that aspect. But the entire just camaraderie part of it was just off. So it was about whenever everyone was able to get back together, is finding that gel and quickly making that transition for us to have a successful season this year.
Okay.
Awesome. And again, my name is Staff Sergeant Trainer. I represent the Army out of Bel Air. Just wanted to say, thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with us, participate in this, because it's really about the kids and the youth and really teaching them to develop that teamwork and leadership attributes and stuff like that. So the fact that, you're able to take time, we really do appreciate it. So thank you on behalf of everybody in the United States Army that you're here today. So biggest thing we talk about, in Army, we pride ourselves in teamwork, being effective leaders. And, me personally, I grew up playing football and sports. I was a 12 season athlete. So I like the value on the field and stuff like that. What does it mean to you? How could you be an effective leader and also a team player at the same time? So that would be my big question to you. How would you balance the two?
So my biggest thing about being a leader is be a man of your word, or a woman, or whatever. Be true to your word. Whatever you say, you do. You're not a hypocrite. You don't say something and do something else. It's not a do as I say, not as I do operation. It's all about, being that person that's in front, that's leading the charge, that's doing what's right, that's saying what's right, and backing up those with actions, and just continue to move forward in that aspect. And it's about being vocal also, to voice your opinion, to not be afraid to say something when you're in the right, and to say something when something is wrong. So that's definitely one of the biggest things about being a leader.
I think I've seen it too in women's sports and in general probably is again leading by example. You're always the first one out on the field. You should always be the first one and last one to leave. And it goes with everything. It goes from all the way down from like being the last one or helping clean up or last one to eat. Like let your teammates go first, whatever that is. That's the teamwork part of it. The people look to you. And I think inherently, like playing sports or being in the Army, like it just holds this different like statute. You hold yourself to a different level. You hold yourself to a different accountability. People look up to athletes. People look up to people in the service. People look up to those type of people of, okay, what is the baseline? Like, what should I do? And I think that's something that you shouldn't take lightly. That's something that you carry yourself with every day, because when you put on that uniform or when you put on a jersey, that's what people are going to associate everything with. They're going to associate everyone that wears that same uniform or everyone that wears that same jersey. You are taking on that responsibility, whether you like it or not. So I think that's a huge portion of it when it comes to that leadership aspect and quality.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah. So we talk about servant leadership. That's something we pride ourselves in as we move up into the ranks, because with more rank becomes more responsibility. So we pride ourselves on that. Servant leadership is the way we would summarize it. But again, you guys hit the nail right on the head. So greatly appreciate it. We have a lot of common values.
Alrighty, so again, Staff Sergeant Solis here. I have another question for you guys. So I know you guys were huge on your campaign, the anti-bullying campaign. I know you guys are big on that, So I just wanted to ask, what was your driving force behind that? How did you guys come up with such a great organization to support something like that? And what you guys are doing, to try and increase your foundation, make it bigger and make it more of an awareness for all the younger the younger students.
Yeah, so the way we got started, it was April of 2018, I believe, and we were asked to send a video to this little girl. The girl was beautiful, she was smart, she was athletic, she was every single standard of being, or what typically just a perfect person is. But she was getting bullied because she was Asian. That was the only reason. And we were asked to send a video to this girl, and we said, well, we'll do one better. We'll come down and we'll talk to her. We'll talk to the kids that are bullying her. We'll talk about the rights and wrongs of that. And when we pulled up, and you guys don't know us, but so I am not a public speaker when we first started all this. Like the whole typical sweaty hands, like tripping over my words, like couldn't hold myself together during those situations. And the principal comes up to us and is like, hey, since you're here, do you mind just talking to the whole school? We're like, I don't know. And
He looked at me like he was panicked.
I was like, please save me. But Nikki's like,
I was like, sure.
He's like, absolutely. So we worked our way through it, and the words just started flowing out, and the emotions started rolling. And we get back to the car, and we look at each other almost in tears, and just like, man, this is what we're here to do. This is what we're supposed to do. And from there, this was the month before the draft, and we hit 26 schools in that month. And I mean, we were just on a roll, just going and going and going, and now it's grown into what it is today. And I can't sit here and take all the credit. This woman right here has bust her butt every single day, and no one will ever know how much work she puts into it to make sure that this continues to grow and is a healthy organization. Because I mean, she is constantly doing things to make this a better organization. And we want to help people. That's all we want. We just want to help people. We want to do what's right. We want people to know there's people out there that just do things just because it's the right thing to do. and to know that there's people like us that went through the same thing as some of these kids are going through, and being outcast and being picked on and being, in that dark place. And we just want to give them an outlet and an opportunity to be able to talk and conversate and to understand some of the values that we were instilled in us as kids.
Yeah, what he said.
And that's awesome. You guys, I'm sure you guys, the impact you made on some of these young individuals is amazing. So it's an amazing thing. What you guys are doing is just amazing overall. So, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
So the summer trainer again. So my big question will be, what motivates you? What keeps you motivated to, push yourself to continue going down, not only in your professional career, but also in this, second task that you've took on? So what would you say would be your uplifting, motivating factor?
I'll start out with, hearing the success stories. Like we've gotten to a point now in our foundation where you're seeing the full circle. You're seeing the kids that were getting picked on and in this dark place come to light and to blossom into this beautiful person. And to see those success stories and seeing that the kid, sends you a message and say, thank you so much for what you do, for talking to us. Thank you for being there for us. It's just energizing. Like I got chills just thinking about it, and continue to try to help more and more people. We just help one single kid in this whole journey. Like if we can help one person, that's enough. And that keeps us motivated.
And we talk to the kids all the time. We talk about like finding your why, and it's become such like a kind of like a cliche. People say find your why all the time, but we really talk to these kids and we really reflect on like, what is their why? Like, why are you doing this? Like, what makes you get up in the morning at 4 a.m. and go run stadiums? Or what makes you want to, be the best guitarist there is? Because it might not be sports. It might be something else like later down the road. And what makes you want to do that? Like, what is your why? So I think it's super important because some kids are like, I don't know. I'm like, well, take, hour, day, week to figure out what it is. Because when times get tough, that's what you're going to lean on. Be something that is your driving force. So I would encourage everyone on this call, if they haven't and they don't really know an answer to that question, to do some self-reflection and say, hey, things are going to get hard. Life in general is hard. Like that's a hard realization as a kid, but as it gets tough, like you lean on what is your why and what are you here for and why are you trying to make a difference? Like whether it's in the Army or on a team, like you want to be the best on the team. The Army, that's kind of, you want to protect and serve, it's those qualities and why are you going to get up? And when things are their lowest, how are you going to pull yourself out of them? So I think it's super important to figure out, and everyone's is going to be different. And I think it's super important to figure out what yours is.
Absolutely. Just to finish up on the second part of your question, on the field, for me, it's my future family. It's her, it's providing a life for my family better than mine. And I had it growing up. My father came from nothing. He worked his way to the top. Father wasn't around, had 4 brothers, sister, and just worked from the bottom to provide a very stable life for me and my brother and his wife. And that's my goal, to continue to grow that, what he instilled in me, and continue to make this into something that's my kids can look at us and be proud of. And that's my why on the field. That's what I'm fighting for every single day.
Yeah, it's obvious your foundation, you're giving these kids a solid foundation, you're providing them the resources with mental resiliency and stuff like that, with all these talks and stuff you do. So for me personally, I greatly appreciate everything you do. And I actually look up to you guys on everything you do. I've been a Ravens fan. I don't know if you can tell.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But sorry, Salisha, you want to get the next one?
Yeah. So my next question is, I know, Bradley, I know you played college football in the University of Alabama. I know you played under Coach Nick Saban. You won a national championship there. So I just want to know how different it is, playing college ball to now going into the pros. What adjustments did you have to do? I know teamwork is huge. That's one thing for us in the military. It's a huge thing. You have to rely on other people. What has been the biggest difference for you, or the biggest change, going from college ball into professional football?
I would say, I was very lucky to play at Alabama. And playing at Alabama, there was a lot of competitions, high competition level. I had to wait my turn. I was behind a first round draft pick, Ryan Kelly, was in my spot to be the starter. And then when he went to be the starter, and from there it was going against those defensive linemen picks, and then you get into the league, and now every single person across the board, regardless it was whoever it was, whatever team you're playing, is going to play. So it's about bringing that competitiveness every single play, and not being able to not letting yourself take the easy road out, to just continue to drive through that, and to continue just to be the best athlete that you possibly can. So that was definitely the hardest transition point, I would say.
Okay. All right. Well, I've seen like some of the games, running over people. So I wouldn't want to be the one standing in front of you, getting run over by Bradley Bozeman. So I'm sure it looks pretty scary, somebody like you coming after him. So
yeah, it's definitely a great feeling when you've removed someone against their will, from point A to point B. So it's been a great year this year. Excited to see what next year brings.
Awesome. Yeah, the best of luck next season.
Thank you.
So, he talked a little bit about, your transition from college over to the professional league. Obviously, that's a big transition. You got to understand like the importance of having a plan. So as far as like, you creating your plan and things like that moving forward, how did you achieve your short-term, long-term goals in the NFL from that transition?
It was just step by step for me. When I got into the league, my first step was make the team, and then from there, it moved on to, okay, getting on the field in any way I can, whether it's field goal, whatever the opportunity is, getting on there. And then it moved into from getting on the field to being a starter. And then from being a starter to, making a Pro Bowl, then, signing another deal. Just it's for us, it's been just a continuous stepping stone of reaching higher and higher. You have that big goal of, being a Pro Bowler, of, playing 10 years in the league, of being a Hall of Famer, whatever it is. But it's about taking those small steps each time and just taking them one by one and continue to build until you look back, man, you're on top. It's about those small steps every single day that's going to get you to exactly where you want to be.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. That's kind of how our process can be. When we start applying for the military, first come, we give you an application packet. It's got a security clearance background investigation. It's asking you the last 10 years of residency. You ever done any crazy thing, medical questions? I mean, it can be intimidating. So I think one big relation between the two of us is it's always that step by step. Find the short term, and it's important. Hit your short term, and the long terms will come. But always have the long term in mind. So awesome. You want to hit the next one, Sergeant Solis?
Yeah, so I got a message from one of the students. He's wanting to ask a question to Bradley. So his name is Tyrell Ramsey. He goes to Watkins Mill High School. So if he's available right now, he can go ahead and ask his question.
Oh yeah, my question was about transitioning from college to the NFL playbook. I was wondering, like, could you tell me like how that transition was, like, as far as like was it more in depth, or like how did that all work out?
So whenever I think it's a scene in what's the scene in it's like Santa Claus, where they just keep piling up paperwork. So it's like, oh, this is it. That's not bad. And they keep on piling and piling and piling. And eventually you look over and it's like it's over your head. It was kind of the same scenario when you walked in the door. So we were there for rookie mini camp, and we're sitting there putting in stuff, and they hand you an iPad, and it's got all your plays in it. And it's like the first day you saw 10 plays. Next day's 20 plays. The following day's 30 plays. Like it kept coming. You're just like, holy smokes! Like, how are we even going to run all these plays? But yeah, it was definitely a bigger playbook in the NFL because you're a pro. At that point, you are a pro, and that is your job. That's like your livelihood. So they expect you a lot out of you to be able to learn and take all that in and ingest it and process it and be able to put it on the field. So I think it's more of a test rather than it is okay. You just need to know these plays. It's more of see if they can break you, seeing if they can wear you down and mentally get you out of there. Because if they find someone who's mentally weak, they do not want them. They will push you out the door. And it's just about, like we said, step by step, breaking it down, taking it down to its core, and just continue to bring in small bits of information until you look back and you have it, like it's yours. So yeah, that's definitely was a tough transition, but it finally took hold, and a lot of help studying here. So
I can tell you the whole playbook if you'd like.
All right, just quick. Is Tracy Parker? Are they available? Are they in the call? All right, I guess not. So I guess I'll just ask their question for them since they're not available. But Tracy Parker wanted to know, how is it playing with Lamar Jackson?
I'll just start off by saying Lamar Jackson is a better person than he is a player. Guy's the ultimate teammate. He has had every reason and opportunity for him to be arrogant, a big head, cocky, whatever you want to call it. But the guy has just been so consistent and just stayed so level-headed, and just is just the ultimate back no matter what. To be able to play with Lamar is just such a blessing to us because he's just such a great person. I love that. I love that guy to death, and he's always got our back. So it's a great thing, especially whenever you let your guy go and he makes a miss, you avoid a sack. So, but yeah, he's a special player on the field, but even better person off. So.
All right, I have the next question from Thomas Blair from Towson High School. So if he's on, he can go ahead and ask his question.
Hi, how y'all doing? Brad, I just want to say I really do admire everything you do on the field. I'm kind of inspired by what you did last year, going around in the country in your RV, and hopefully when I retire, my wife's going to let me do that also. But I did have a question about as far as with all the isolation with the COVID, and kind of thinking about how kids are dealing with all that. What kind of message would you give them about the cyberbullying to kind of support your other messages with bullying?
So it's, we always talk about know yourself. Like, I know who Bradley Bozeman is. When I wake up in the morning, I know the person that I am. And that's what we're trying to tell these kids, to figure out who you are. Figure out what makes you tick. Figure out, that I'm not fat. I'm a big boned. And, it's about knowing your person. And so no matter what Jim, Jill, John, Josh, whoever says about you, I know who I am deep down. I mean, like the stuff doesn't stop. The cyberbullying doesn't stop. I get them. I mean, you have, one bad play, you give up a sack, you have a bad block, whatever it is. I'll get 50 emails or notifications or whatever saying how terrible I am at football. And, it never stops. So it's learning about how to cope with those things and not letting those things infiltrate your head and infiltrate who you are as a person, because don't let those people control you. You control yourself. You control your destiny. You have one life to live, and live it how you want to live it. Don't live it through someone else's eyes. Live it through you.
Awesome. And my buddies and I love you. I mean, we sit there and we miss being at the stadium screaming and everything, and just kind of watching you grow exponentially. And it's really been a pleasure the last couple of years. So thank you for that. And if you ever want to go golfing with the team, we start practice back up in February. So just let me know.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you for the support.
And I see McKenna there. She's been sitting there pretty quiet. And I know she's got a question. So McKenna. Got to unmute your mic.
Got it. first, I want to say congratulations on your great season that you guys had. And I was wondering, I know you do a lot for children and your community, and wondering if how someone would go about volunteering for your charity.
Yeah, so COVID's kind of been a hard year for volunteers because there's all these protocols, but hopefully we'll be starting to get volunteers in soon. So if you go to our website, bozemancharity.com, if you send an email into the contact us, just saying hey, I'd love to volunteer, so we can forward it to the volunteer coordinator, and they'll be able to get your information. And we always send out email blast saying, hey, we're running this event at the stadium if you'd like to help, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that would be the way to start. So that would be awesome. And also for, if you guys have questions that you think of later, if you just, kids, students want to talk, whatever, that contact us only comes to our emails. So we're the only ones that answer those. And so they're confidential. And it's a great way to ask questions, ask for advice, ask for help. Whatever you guys would like to do. So that's another idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All righty. We have next question is from David Roberts. So if David Roberts is on.
Bradley, I've been a humongous Ravens fan for a very long time. I just want to know, who's been the biggest leader, in the locker room? Because I know, a lot of teams struggle with having a leader in the locker room. In your opinion, who do you think is the biggest leader in the locker room?
I would say probably the biggest. Whenever you ask the question, the first person that popped in mind was Marshall Yanda. Marshall Yanda played for 13 years. He was an 8-time Pro Bowler. He was just he's what you want to emulate on and off the field. And the guy led by example, which is my favorite way of leadership style. It's like we talked about earlier about not do what I say, not as I do. He is a do what I do because I do what I do, and I do it very well. And it's made me very successful. And that guy was definitely the biggest leader to me. He was my biggest role model and influence since I came into the league. And just to have that guy there, to be able to push, to be able to watch, to be able to see how he works every single day, it is just, it's just inspiring. So that's definitely the first person that pops in my head.
Thank you.
All right, what's up? Terrell Ramsey, you got a question? You up in the camera looking good. Yeah, give us 1 sec. Got to get him unmuted. Come on, man. Don't let user error get the best of you.
No, I had another question. So I was gonna ask because you play against some of the top offensive linemen and defensive linemen in the world. But I was asking has there ever been anyone who's just consistently you okay, I say maybe they beat you one time 1 year, and then the next year you just consistently wanted to get play against them, and I don't how do I explain
the best defensive guy he's played against.
Yeah, have you ever wanted wanted to block them or try to
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're trying to say. So probably Cam Hayward's probably the number one defensive lineman in my opinion. Obviously Aaron Donald is a great player. He's a great pass rusher. But Cam Hayward is just an all-around amazing player. Run, pass, whatever it is, he's very challenging. He's got a lot of stuff in his toolbox to be able to go against. So whenever I have the opportunity to go against him, that's probably where I'm the most locked in. He's challenged me over the last 3 years, and just whenever I can go in and have a really good game against him is really big in my book, because I think he is one of the best that I've ever played against. So yeah, definitely Cam Hayward. The guy's long. He's 6'7", 330 pounds, 320 pounds, whatever it is. But the guy's a great defensive lineman. He's a competitor. He's been there for a long time. So definitely one of my favorite guys to go against, just because I'm a competitive nature guy. I love the challenge. So.
Okay. Oh yeah. Then my other question, I just have one more question. It was well, I know, I'm pretty sure if you watch ESPN, how they talk about how, saying Lamar Jackson couldn't win a playoff game, but I say as a team, like, how did you guys pay attention to all that, or did you guys like take it all in and feel like it was just like as a team thing, or did you guys feel like, like he took it personal?
No, it's a first. So we're talking about what John, Gio, Josh, Jimmy, whatever say about you doesn't matter. We have the same mindset. It's just a bunch of people's opinion about what we are and what we do. So we don't listen to it. It's the same thing as the comments on social media or whatever it may be. We go out there and play our game. We go out there and execute at the highest level we possibly can. We just want to go out there and make no mistakes. Execute at a high level, do what we're supposed to do, and just see where the chips end at the end of the game. The previous 2 years, past year, we fell short and we didn't do the things we needed to. The same thing with the Bills. We didn't do what we needed to do to win the game. So I think it's part of it. It's hard to win in these conditions and in the playoffs. So yeah, it's just to go out there, control what you can control, and see where you end up at the end of the day. Great questions, by the way.
Hey guys, can everybody hear me? There's another question from Yasmin Christine. Let me turn the microphone on there. Yasmin?
Was it hard to become a successful NFL player?
You want to start with that?
Just an NFL.
Yeah. Yes. The short answer is
you
yes.
were talking.
Yes. So from my background, I played at the University of Alabama. I was there for 5 years. I played for 2 years, and my first 3 years were very tough. I got to a point in my career where I wanted to hang up my cleats. I didn't want to play anymore. I was tired of doing it. I was going to go coach. I was going to do something else besides football. And then I met this beautiful woman here that encouraged me every single day and made sure that I gave it one more shot. And that one more shot turned into what we are today. And without her, I don't know if we'd be sitting here talking today. And just continue the growth of the years and how she's had my back and how she's been able to talk me off those ledges has been so huge in our career. And I'm so thankful for her and just to have the companion that I have and the partner. I'm just so blessed. But yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been challenging. There's a new something, and take those battles one by one and just continue to work. And like we said, one day you look back and it's like you see how far you came, and it makes it all worth it.
Hey guys, I'll go ahead. Nikolai, you have a question coming up.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how hard was it to build chemistry with like the new guys coming in and with like COVID and all that?
Like, how was COVID and all that coming in this season?
It was very challenging this year. I was tested over 183 times this year with COVID tests. It's been a struggle this year. We've lost guys to COVID that would we typically have in a normal game. So it was definitely a strange year this year. Everywhere there was all the masks, everything that went into it. And, we were just lucky to be able to play this season, to be able to go out there and have an opportunity to showcase what we can do. And that was just such a huge just blessing for us. So it was challenging, but well worth it.
Hey, Tracy Dowling, you're up.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Quick question. Today's Mo Gabba's birthday, and I saw a picture of you guys on Twitter, and I was wondering if you could tell us what Mo Gabba means to you.
So for you guys that don't know who Mo is, Mo passed away last year. Mo was blind at birth, or a few months after birth, fought cancer his entire life, was, mostly in a wheelchair. He was dealt a very tough hand. Talking about one of the brightest outlooks on life that I've ever seen in my entire life. That kid was something special. We were very lucky to have a relationship with him, to be able to talk and meet and just hang out and just such a special kid. And I always say that, Mo may have been blind, but he had better vision than any of us. And if we all had a little bit of Mo, then this world would be a lot better place. Because that kid, he had every reason to be down, to be pissed off, to be upset, whatever it may be. But that kid looked at everything in the brightest light, and just so special. And you never see it. He was taken at such a young age, and just that the Gaba family has turned into our family. And we absolutely love and adore them. And just so blessed to be able to be a small part of his life, and for him to be a part of our family. It's just a blessing, and be memories that I will never forget.
That's good. Yeah.
Sergeant Solis and Trainer, do you guys have any more questions?
Well, definitely after hearing that story, definitely makes me reflect on, every quarter, we do something called resiliency training. And just to hear about, the story and, how he was a fighter from day one really, kind of gets me a little bit, coming from, a background I came with. But to know what he was going through, know how he was able to keep that positive mindset, search, hunt the good stuff. Don't let the iceberg sink him, stuff like that. Those are just all things we talk about in our resiliency classes. And, you guys are emulating everything, we stand for, everything you guys stand for. And, we share a lot of values. So it's just a pleasure to be here talking to you guys for that.
Hey, guys, we have one more question from Coach Blair.
Just real quick. Are you guys still visiting schools, like your Zoom meets and Google Meets and things, to talk about bullying?
Yeah, so we've been, like you said, we've been doing the Zoom meets and stuff like that. So we have been being able to meet with Zoom, whether it's schools or sports teams or what is it. But yeah, we've been able to do that over Zoom. And if anyone's looking to schedule anything like that, it would go through the website too, through the contact information on the website.
Awesome, great, thank you.
And I wanted to add something too. I know we had talked about, we've done a few of these Army calls, and, having, whether it's family or friends that have or in the Army or have been through that process, and being able to talk with them about the similarities, whether a lot of you guys are on sports teams right now, and that like camaraderie, that teamwork. Some of you guys have been with it your whole life, and that's all you've known. For me, I know that I was on a team sport my whole life. So when the team sports ended, like when I graduated college, I was at like, what do I do now? I was at a point where I didn't really know what the right direction was. So, look at, schedule a meeting, they'll sit down, they'll talk to you, whether it's Zoom or whatever, about the opportunities. And I think that, and that teamwork and that leadership, and it takes to be an actor, to be where you guys are in your careers, is very similar to what it takes to be successful in the Army. So I think that's why they do all these events, because they're so similar and there's so many overlapping qualities that you guys already have. You have, because you're competitive and you're on a team sport and you do all those things to make you good at what you do. So I encourage you, at what's next in your future, to take that door and take that opportunity, because it's always an opportunity. You can go and they can say, yes, you're great. And it's always your decision. You can say, yes, this is something that I would love to do, or maybe it's not for me. But I always encourage people, if that is any thought in the back of their head, to explore it, and then, make the decision for yourself if that's for you or not. So, but we are passionate about it because there are so many similarities between the two. So it just seems like such a natural.
Sergeants, do you guys have any final words here?
Final words. Definitely just, I would say, appreciate you guys coming out. This is, trust me, we want to talk to you about all the Ravens stuff. You know what I mean? That's the fun, exciting stuff. But it's more important to talk about, the important, like the little, what you guys are doing on the anti-bullying, your campaigns and stuff like that, because that is what's going to affect the youth. And, in my opinion, that is what America's future is. You guys are targeting the heart of America, and you're only making it better. So with that being said, I think you guys are honoring Mo and everything you guys do, I just think you guys are doing great. So other than that, Sergeant Solis, you got anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say again, thank you for being part of this. We really do appreciate your time. And thank you for being such amazing people, touching that young generation. So, I'm sure they're grateful for what you guys do. I know I am. Again, Bradley, congratulations on your nomination. Hopefully you pull through and you win it. You deserve it. Best of luck next season. And thank you guys so much for everything.
I gotta cop that jersey now,
Bradley and Nikki, I know you said it a little bit before, but how do people get in touch with you guys if any of the kids or coaches want to reach out to you?
Yeah, so obviously you can follow us on all of our social medias because we post all of our events and things we're doing there through the foundation or personally. And then BozemanCharity.com. So that'll give you everything you ever need to know. To contact us, the events that we're going to be happening, where the food drives are, stuff like that. So Bozeman, like our last name, BozemanCharity.com. Yeah, it's a great place.
And Staff Sergeants Trainer and Solis, how if anybody has any questions about the Army or how to get in touch with you, any of the coaches, any of the kids, what's the best way for them to reach out to you guys?
You can take it first, Sergeant Solis.
All right. So we have our website, the Army, the GoArmy.com website. You can get information there. If you register there, a recruiter will be in touch with you. If you do want to get in touch directly with myself or Sergeant Trainer, just ask for my email address, my phone number send me a private message and I can send you guys that way. But usually, you can get most of the information on the GoArmy.com website. And then, like I said, that way you'll be directed to your nearest and closest recruiter.
Yeah. And for me personally, I'm on the digital thing. I went ahead and messaged my IG up in the little chat if I did it right. Tech savvy's not raw. Well, but yeah, you can reach us. GoArmy.com is going to kind of give you a broad overview of everything that we have to offer out of the 150 different career fields. Biggest thing, until you have the ASVAB test knocked out, you could look and aspire to do all these great things in the Army, but at the end of the day, that ASVAB test score is going to determine what you're eligible for. So yeah, you can go on, look around, get your interest sparked, but at the end of the day, it's start your first step. We go back to what Bradley talked about achieving your goals, which is your step-by-steps. So the test is definitely the first step to identifying what you can do and what your options are in exploring what you can do in the Army. So that will be my biggest thing. Gather your interest, take the test, get your actual score, and then go from there. But for myself, you can follow me on my IG. I love it. I can't follow people no more. I'm blocked. 7,500 is the cap. So I need people to reach back out to me now. I did what I could. Or you can just Google the local Army recruiting center near me, and then it'll put you in contact with a recruiter in your area.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you all very much. We want to thank again Bradley and Nikki Bozeman. Want to thank the U.S. Army Staff Sergeants Trainer and Solis, and really thank all the coaches and students that have come out to listen to this. We appreciate it very much. We hope everybody has a great week, and thank you again. Good night.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Good night.